Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me today for Beginner's Yoga 1.1. I'm hoping some of you are going to be getting online in a minute, and maybe you can tell me that you're here by writing a little message to me or hitting the heart or the thumbs up button, please, just so they know you're here. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to get online. So this is probably going to be one of the hardest classes I've ever taught, for a couple of different reasons. One, teaching blind, so I can't see you, which makes it really difficult. And two, I can't control the noise because I'm outside. So as you heard, there's just a car that just went down the driveway, and I'm hoping that the gardener doesn't show up unexpectedly with his leaf blower. So welcome all, and thank you so much for being here. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself while we're waiting for people to get online. So my name's Brooke. Been teaching yoga for, golly, since 1998 or something. And I studied in New York City. The style of yoga that I teach is called Ishta, which represents the integrated science of Hatha, Tantra, and Ayurveda. I feel very privileged to have been taught Ishta Yoga because it integrates every lineage of yoga back together in the one style, which enables the practitioner to draw from it what they need. And so generally what people need is what they don't like. It's what they are not good at. And I remember when I first started, I've always been a very physical person, but when I first started, I actually couldn't close my eyes. So I knew very early on that the biggest thing I could get from this practice was to learn to meditate. So that's what I focused on, and that's what the practice Ishta allows the practitioner to draw from the practice what they need, not necessarily what they want. So it's my great joy to be here with you for the first time teaching Facebook Live Yoga. This is a free class. It will always be free. It's my way of giving back to the community at large, for whoever would like to learn yoga and meditation and breathing practices. So let's see. So first and foremost, we're going to learn how to sit in a yogi pose. Good. So some of you are going to grab a pillow or grab a rolled up yoga mat. Or if you only have one yoga mat, you can actually just roll the back of your yoga mat up like that and sit on it. And then you're just going to bring one heel all the way into pubic bone, and then the other heel in line with that heel. And then you're just going to pull the flesh back away from your sit bones. Good. And then you're either sitting on a mat or a cushion. Good. So if you have bad knees and it doesn't suit you to sit cross-leg position, you can actually get a mat and roll it long ways, and you can lift your legs up and wrap it under, which protects the knees. It helps lift them a little. The other thing you can do is you can put a block under each knee. Good. The other variation, if you really have bad knees and hips, you can actually sit on the block, which is preferable. This is really a great position to sit because we're going to be sitting for a little while today. So this is not going to be the funnest class you've ever done in your whole life. This is going to be the most important one that you ever do. And it's going to be the hardest one for me to teach. Okay, now if you don't want to sit in a cross-leg position, you don't have to. So there's no right or wrong. You can also sit in a kneeling position where you would just kneel and you can place the block between and you can sit like this. Or you can turn the block up on its side, and which gives a little bit more lift. If you're really inflexible and you have a hard time sitting on the floor, you can even turn the block right up on its end. And this takes all the pressure off the ankles and the knees. All right, are we getting some love on our post? Are there people there? No? Oh, that's good. So welcome. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what is the first thing I'm going to talk about? I've forgotten. That's okay. What is yoga? And why yoga? So why do yoga? And what is yoga? Well, yoga is pretty much the best self-love practice that you can do. So it really is just directing your energy back into yourself to become introspective, reflective, to feel your body where it feels stiff, injured, or whether you feel tired, or whether you need to bring your energy up or down. So it's just the ultimate self-love practice. Okay, and so what is yoga? Well, basically it means union or yoking together of. So it would be the yoking together of the three bodies. So what do I mean by the three bodies? Well, the physical body, and then the electromagnetic body, and then the causal body. So electromagnetic body is all the nadis and the emotional, mental body, and the causal body is the spiritual body. So there are the three bodies. And there's that saying, people say, pull yourself together. And so that's what it means. It means pull you. So with yoga, we're pulling ourselves back together, with pulling the three bodies back together so that they're in union and they're not fragmented. So often when we live in a big city, we become fragmented by stress, by noise stress, by toxins, pollutions, that we're so busy that we have to run here, there, and be always on the go. So we become fragmented. So basically, why study yoga? To bring yourself back together so that everything's operating in union. Okay, so that's why we're going to teach. We're studying yoga. So the most important part of this class today is to teach you the breathing that you do during postures. So if there's no breathing during the postures, it's actually not yoga, because it's your breath that makes it turn from a stretch class or an exercise class into a state of yoga. So essentially, I'm not your teacher. I'm your guide, but your breath is your teacher. So if you can tune into this breath and learn it, then you're good to go. That breath will then teach you the postures. It'll teach you how far to go in them, how far not to go. It will teach you when to introspect, and it'll just teach you everything about yoga. Your breath will. So without the breath, there's no yoga occurring. So we're going to learn Ujjayi Pranayama today, okay? So there's many different techniques that I can give you to teach you how to breathe Ujjayi Pranayama. So some techniques will work for other people and some will work for others. So I'm going to give you about 3 different techniques, and eventually one of those techniques will help you get it. And once you've got it, you can't forget. It's like riding a bike. This breath is one of the most powerful breathing techniques that you can learn. Once you know it, you can teach it to others. It calms the sympathetic nervous system, it quietens the mind, and it brings you back to oneness with yourself. So essentially, our body is just a big bag of muddy water. So if you can imagine a big plastic bag about this big that's clear, that's about as big as me, sitting next to me, and it was filled with water. Now that bag of muddy water is quite dirty, and you'll probably notice that if you allow a big bag of muddy water to sit for long enough in one sedentary position, all the mud will collect on the bottom, like in a river or a pond. So as we practice the breath and as we move into yoga postures with the breath, essentially what we've done is we've picked up a big stick, we've put it in our bag of muddy water, and we're starting to stir it up. So everybody knows what happens when you would do that, when you would stir it up, all the water would go cloudy, okay? So as you begin your yoga practice, and as you begin the breath, and as you pick up that stick and start stirring your bag of muddy water, you're not going to feel that great. You know, unfortunately, you're going to feel a little bit worse than what you did. Not initially, not today, but you know, as you practice, sometimes things get a little worse before they get better. It's really important to know that, because my primary objective here teaching this class is to keep you safe. So my job is to keep you safe. I'm teaching blind, which means I can't see what you're doing, but I'm hoping that it's up to you to really take note of this first class and take from it what you can, so that you can move forward into any practice with any teacher, knowing the basics and understanding the beginnings of your journey. All right? So hopefully everybody's nice and comfortable. So we're going to learn Ujjayi Pranayama. So there's different ways to learn. So first of all, we're going to pretend, and for those people in really cold countries, and if it's snowing and if you're cold or whatever, I love this technique. It's what, you know, if you were outside in the snow, what would you do to warm your hands? You know, you would cup them and you would take a deep breath in and you would ha the warm breath on your hands, and you can feel the heat onto your hands from that warm breath. Good. So that's what we want. We want to ha. So I'd like you to do it with me. We're going to take a deep breath in and a nice big ha. Close your mouth, sit up tall, breathe in. Nice big ha. Breathe in. A nice big ha. Good. Keep your mouth closed. Breathe in. Good. Now make the ha sound, but don't open your mouth. Keep the feeling in the back of your throat and breathe back in through that place. Pause. Relax your shoulders. And now gently push the breath through the back of your throat, back out your nose. Pause. Breathe in through your nose. Pause. And breathe out through your nose. Good. So hopefully some of you have gotten Ujjayi breath from that one technique. We're going to go to the second technique, just in case some of you didn't get it yet. So we're going to sit up really nice and tall. We're going to take, you know, a breath in, not just halfway, and we're going to say the vowels of the alphabet in a whisper. Okay, in a whisper. Quite a loud whisper, but a whisper. So breathe in, and with me, A, B, C. Oh, sorry, vowels. Okay, start again. Breathe in. Keep that sound in the back of your throat and breathe in through the back of your throat. Pause and then breathe out. Pause. Breathe in. Pause and breathe out. So keep going if you can. So essentially what we're doing is in the back of the throat, there's the epiglottis. The epiglottis has a little valve. So anybody that knows anything about valves will know that, you know, when it's shut, nothing can get through, and when it's open, everything can get through. But with a valve, you can generally screw it so that it's just a little bit open or a little bit closed, or what you have control. So it's the same with the epiglottis. You have control of your epiglottis. So when you're swallowing food and swallowing water or drinks, of course it's closed so that you're not swallowing into your lungs. Okay? When you're whispering or making the sound, your epiglottis is half open and half closed. And that's what's allowing the breath to move into, to fill your lungs slowly. So it's like filling up, like a tire fills with air. So it's this nice long breath. So I'm going to breathe 1 or maybe 2 cycles of Ujjayi, just 2 cycles of breath. And I'd like you to listen. I'm pretty sure that you can hear my breath. I may breathe a little louder just so that you can actually hear it. I'd like you to watch the breath into my body, where it's moving to in the body, and I'd like you to take whatever note you can from that breath, okay? So who noticed that there are 4 parts to the breath? Of course. So there's an inhale, then there's a pause. Now that pause is never forced, it just is what it is. So how do you gauge how long your pause is? Well, your pause is as long or as short as comfortable. So as soon as you have an inclination that you need to exhale, that's when you exhale. If you don't feel the need to exhale straight away, then you can hold the breath for a little bit longer. So everybody's ratio of breath is going to be different. Okay, so there's 4 parts to the breath. There's the inhale, there's the pause, and then there's the exhale, and then there's a pause. So during these 4 parts to the breath, there's some really profound things happening. Okay, so the inhale is bringing in oxygen, nutrients, it's bringing in inspiration. It's called puraka. So puraka is the inhale, so bringing in of nutrients, bringing in of energy, life force. Good, then we go to antakumbhaka. So antakumbhaka is the pause after the inhale. So in that pause after the inhale, what's happening is, oh, by the way, the inhale is also creating heat in the body. Okay, so the puraka is creating heat and inspiration. The antakumbhaka is the pause after the inhale, and that's pulling toxins from the extremities, from every cell in your body, and pulling them towards the solar plexus, where the heat is. Okay? The exhale is that heat even burning more and those toxins burning. So then those toxins are getting burnt at the solar plexus. And they're getting eliminated from the body. And that's Rachaka. Okay? Which is quite a good name for that. And then the last one is Bhayakumbhaya, the hold after the exhale, and that's where the toxins are releasing from the colon, the urinary tract, the skin, and the breath. Okay, it's all releasing. So there's a whole lot happening in one cycle of breath. And so as you can imagine, as you breathe Ujjayi, even if you're not doing any postures, that you're actually, it's like a big filtering system that you could just lay on the ground and breathe Ujjayi, and you could release tons of toxins from your body. Okay? So it's really important. So I have my lovely assistant today. Her name's Sunday. She's my daughter. I love her so much. Welcome, Sunday. Thank you. Sunday's going to be my my demonstrator and my aide today as we go through this basic beginner's orientation yoga 1.1 class. Okay, so my biggest challenge today is honing in on keeping it on point, because there's so much to talk about that I could go off in a tangent. So as we breathe Ujjayi Pranayama, what's happening is your diaphragm is this big band of muscle and tendon that is attached to the sides of the rib cage on either side. And when you're just relaxed, that is relaxed up in a position that is just neutral. As you begin your Ujjayi inhale, that diaphragm, that big band of muscle, gets actually pulled down towards the navel, or lower, towards the navel. And as it gets pulled down, it stretches out. And as it stretches out, it lifts the rib cage, the sides of the rib cage outward. That's the inhale. Then there's a pause. And then as you exhale through the back of your throat, back out your nose, making that sound, the rib cage relaxes back in and the diaphragm just relaxes back up. So as you breathe in, the diaphragm pulls down, swings the side, back, front ribs out like bucket handles, expands the lungs. Then there's a pause, and then on the exhale, the ribs relax back in and the diaphragm relaxes back up. Okay, so that's essentially what's happening in your body with your breath. So breathing is the only function of the body that's part of the autonomic nervous system that is involuntary. So you don't sort of, go through your day going, oh, I better breathe now because I haven't breathed for a while. I mean, you breathe unconsciously. You breathe in your sleep. Your body knows to breathe. So it's an autonomic function. It happens automatically. But it's the only autonomic function of the body that you can control. So that's the most incredible part of your breath. That's the most amazing thing. So it's autonomic. It happens naturally. You don't have to think about it. However, you can decide to manipulate your breath. So that's what we're doing. We're manipulating the breath. We're coming in and deciding to switch it up, to change it for whatever outcome we want to achieve. Okay? So how interesting. It's such an interesting phenomenon when you actually think of it like that. So what we're doing is we're learning to manipulate the breath. Okay? So I should have taken some notes, but I'm just going to fly by the seat of my pants. Okay. So we're going to breathe full, complete breaths now. There was something, just one other thing. So the benefits of Ujjayi Pranayama. So, and I'd like you to sort of notice how you're feeling now, and then after we practice Ujjayi Pranayama for quite some time, I'd like you to then notice the changes in you, whether it's mentally, physically, what changes have you noticed that you gained from breathing Ujjayi Pranayama, okay? So, some of the benefits, it builds heat in the body, so you're building incredible heat with your lungs. They're like bellows, so you create, and the friction in the back of the throat when you're breathing Ujjayi is creating phenomenal heat. That's why, the monks in the Himalayas can be sitting in the snow and they can be meditating, and they've probably built all this heat in their body, but they're just actually thinking heat, and they're just drawing heat back into their body with their mind, because their mind's so powerful. But you can create heat in your body with your breath. So it creates heat in the body. Why is that good? Because it helps us move the body. The other thing it does is it calms the sympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is the part of the nervous system that is responsible, as we all know, for fight or flight syndrome. So you're either going to stand and fight the lion, or are you going to run from the lion? So the sympathetic nervous system looks after you. It kicks in and it helps you either do one or the other, either stand and fight or run. So both are sort of the same, but that's a choice within that range of either run or fight. So, so when we live in a big city, we're constantly getting stimulated. Our sympathetic nervous system is constantly being stimulated, constantly being triggered. You know, to do this, to do that, to go here, to go there, to earn money, you know, to fulfill all your obligations, you know, to pay all your bills. And so suddenly your sympathetic nervous system goes into overdrive. And when it goes into overdrive, you know, unless you have the tools to bring it back down again, you'll stay in that fight or flight syndrome. So a lot of people live in fight or flight syndrome. So the tool today is learn Ujjayi Pranayama. Learn to bring down your sympathetic nervous system so that you can come from a place of center and calm, so that you can have control over your body, over your thoughts. The other thing it does is it quietens the mind. So, you know, as we worry, we get more and more thoughts. As we think more and more thoughts, we worry more. And we get into a vicious cycle. So this practice is to help you be in charge of your sympathetic nervous system, your mind, and it teaches you to create heat in your body so that you can practice some postures safely. So as I said before, my number one priority here is to keep you safe. I can't see you, so I'm teaching blind, so I'm hoping that you will, you know, sort of think, oh my God, this class is so boring, but, you know, the basic fundamentals of anything that you learn are the most important. And as long as you've got the basic fundamentals, you can actually go as far into that topic as you want. So the basics are everything. So I hope you'll follow along, and we're going to lay down on the mat on your back. Okay, Sunday, would you lay down for me? So Sunday's going to demonstrate for me. Good. So you're going to just take your hands by your side with the palms facing up. Good. And you're just going to lift your butt a little, squeeze it together, and then relax back down on the mat. After you've done that, you're going to just let your feet fall out to the sides. Let your feet fall out. That's it. So that you're relaxed. Good. And then you're going to lift your chest, and you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then you're going to relax them back down on the floor. Good. And then you're going to just drop your chin to your chest, and then you're going to let it go. Just relax. Good. So hopefully, if you haven't gotten Ujjayi Pranayama yet, this is going to be where you will get it. Good. So now that you're relaxed, we're going to just begin Ujjayi breathing. So you're going to breathe in through your nose. You're going to scrape the breath through the back of your throat. And you're going to feel your belly rise a little, your chest rise a little, then more belly, and then more chest, and you're going to pause. Then you're going to push the breath through the back of your throat, back out your nose, belly falls, chest falls a little bit, belly falls even more, and chest all the way down. Pause. And then you're going to breathe in through the back of your throat, making that sound as belly rises, chest, everything expands, side ribs expand, diaphragm pulls down. Pause. And then exhale, diaphragm relaxes back up, chest relaxes back down, belly relaxes back down, side ribs relax back in. Pause. Good. Breathe in through your nose. Scrape the breath through the back of your throat. Make that sound. Feel the belly rise, chest rise, everything expand. Push the breath through the back of your throat, back out your nose, chest falls, belly falls, chest falls even more, belly, side ribs relax back in, everything relaxes back down. Keep your eyes closed, and from here, take one hand on your low belly and one hand on the high chest, right above. Good, and then relax your elbows into the floor, and your hand doesn't have to be in the middle, it can be on the side. It can be just on the top right corner of the clavicle. Breathe in through your nose, scrape the breath through the back of your throat, and now I'd like you to feel where the breath is moving. Belly, chest, more belly, more chest, side ribs expand out. And then exhale, chest falls, belly falls, side ribs relax back in, chest falls even more, Belly relaxes all the way back down. Pause. Move at your own pace. Breathe in through your nose. Expand. Scraping the breath through the back of your throat. Ujjayi, feeling everything get big and puffy. Belly rises too. Exhale. Push the breath through the back of your throat. Back out your nose. Everything relaxes back down. Good. Making that lovely sound through the back of your throat. So some of you will have a blocked nose and you won't be able to breathe Ujjayi Pranayama today. So that's okay. And if you want to breathe out your mouth, that's okay as well. If you can breathe through your nose, definitely breathe and scrape the breath through the back of your throat, in through the nose, through the back of the throat. So another way of, I want you to continue with this breath. Another way of describing the breath, I'm sure you've heard it because many people have been to yoga. It's like the sound of Darth Vader, okay, from Star Wars. So if you can think of that sound and sort of like tune into it and see if you can make that sound. Breathing in through the nose, scrape the breath through the back of the throat, feel everything expand. And then push the breath through the back of the throat, back out the nose, feel everything relax back down. Good. From here, we're going to switch it up. Breathe in, just feel the chest rise only, not the belly, just the chest. And breathe out, feel the chest relax back down. 2 more chest breaths. Breathing in, feel the chest rise, just the chest. Good. Expanding top lobes of the lungs, side ribs. And exhale, feeling the chest relax back down. Good. Last breath. Breathing in, chest breath, feeling expand. And exhale, feeling it relax back down. Good. The next 3 breaths are now belly breaths only. Some of you will find this a challenge, but that's okay. Breathe in, feel the belly rise. Feel your breath into your hand. Good. Breathe out, feel the belly relax back down. Good. Pause. Breathe in, feel the belly rise. Good. And breathe out, feel the belly relax back down. One last belly breath. When you're ready, breathing in, draw the breath through your nose, through the back of your throat, expand the belly. And exhale, feel the belly relax back down. Good. We're switching it up now. We're going to alternate the breaths. So the next breath is a chest breath. Breathing in, chest rises, making the sound. Pause. Breathe out, feel the chest relax back down. Pause. When you're ready for your inhale, breathe in, feel the belly rise. And breathe out, feel the belly fall. Pause. Chest breath. Breathe in, feel the chest rise. Pause. Breathe out, feel the chest relax back down. Everything relaxes back in. Pause. Belly breath. Breathe in. Really feel the belly rise. See if you can get that breath to puff into your belly. Pause. Exhale, feel the belly fall. Good. Next 3 breaths, we're going into full complete breaths again. So when you're ready, take your time. Breathe in, draw the breath through your nose, down through the back of the throat. Feel the chest expand. Belly rises, more chest, more belly. Bigger, belly, chest, belly, chest. Pause, exhale, feel everything relax back down. Pause. Breathe in, scrape the breath through the back of your throat, chest rises, belly rises, side ribs, back ribs. Everything expands, diaphragm pulls down. Breathe out, diaphragm relaxes back up, belly relaxes, chest relaxes, side ribs relax back in. Good. Sunday's got a blocked nose this morning, so she's not able to breathe proper Ujjayi Pranayama, but I'm hoping that you are. So when you're ready, 2 more breaths. Breathe in, expand. Your eyes are closed. Pause. And exhale, really hearing that sound through the back of your throat, back out your nose. Pause. Last breath. Go at your own pace. keeping your eyes closed, taking your hands off your body and just relaxing your palms to face up about 45 degrees away from your body. I'd like you to let go of the breath now, so there's no more manipulation of the breath. The breath now will take its natural course. It'll just be what it is. You probably will find that you don't really need to breathe very deeply or often. You're simply going to take, we're only going to be here for about 30 seconds. But I'd like you to take this moment to let go. Let go of the doing, let go of the trying, let go of the breath. And just allow yourself to be. Just to be. From here, keeping your eyes closed, if you can, just gently roll over onto one side. You can choose which side that is today, whether it's left or right. And you're just going to roll into a fetal position just for another 30 seconds. So because you're at home and you're not going anywhere today, you can roll onto whichever side you like. It's just for another 30 seconds. From here, just slowly press yourself up to come sit comfortably on your mat. Gail, thank you so much for demonstrating. Great. Good. So finding a comfortable position on your mat. So hopefully you can now feel the heat that you've got in your body. You can feel that you generated heat, that you're a little bit warmer than what you were before. Hopefully you can feel the effects of Ujjayi Pranayama on your mind, that your mind's a little bit more focused, that you're not thinking about so many things, that you're more focused. And hopefully you can feel that you're more relaxed, that you're more grounded, more in tune, and more sort of content in your body. Okay? I hope so. Good. So from here, I'd like you to sit back on your tailbone and just straighten your legs out in front. I probably need this more than anybody because I've been sitting cross-legged for most of this time. Good, so I'd like you to point and flex, and point and flex, and point and flex. Good, take your feet a little bit wider apart, and I'd like you to circle your feet around in one direction, doesn't matter which direction you go, making circles. With your feet, you might get a few cracks in your ankles. Okay, one more. And then we're going to go back in the other direction. Good, just really helping your feet, your ankles loosen up. Good, now I'd like you to bounce your legs up and down a little bit just to sort of get the blood flowing. Great. Good, so from here, we're going to, once again, pull the flesh back away from your sit bones. Good. Good. I'd like you to flex your toes, so pull your toes back towards your kneecaps and spread your toes out as much as you can. Good. And then from here, take your hands behind you, high up on the fingertips and thumbs. Bend your elbows. Good. And then take a deep breath in and feel the breastbone lift. And then breathe out. I'd like you to just draw your shoulders back. Good. Sit up as tall as you can. Look straight ahead. Good. Nice, long, echoing breaths. Good. Good. So you're going to breathe in deeply and breathing out. So we're sitting up as tall as we can. We're getting a nice stretch in the back of the legs. So this is correct seated position. Inhaling, drawing the breath in through the nose, down through the back of the throat. Fill the lungs. Pause. Exhale. Scrape the breath from the back of the throat back out the nose, making that sound. Good. Breathing in. Pause. And breathing out. Pause. And last breath, breathing in. And breathing out. Good. From here, bend your right knee and take your foot right in front of your sit bone. So there's a gap here. Good. Opposite hand to the top of the knee, same hand to shin. Good. Breathe in, lift your breastbone, and breathe out, draw your shoulder blades down your back. Good. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to just get you to breathe Ujjayi Pranayama as you move into some very simple postures. Good. Inhaling. Exhaling. Sit up taller. Tall. Breathing in. Good. Breathing out. Good. This is hip-knee alignment, so it's helping align your knees and hips and ankles. One last breath. And exhale. Good. Straighten that leg out. Bounce your legs up and down a little. Left leg, bring it in. Opposite hand to knee, same hand to shin. Dorsiflex your feet. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out, draw your shoulder blades down your back. Breathing in. Sitting up as tall as you can, lifting your lower lumbar spine into your body. And exhale, drawing your shoulder blades down your back. Good. So some of you might find this class way too basic and that, you might want to click off. This is just going to be the first class of my series because I want people to learn to breathe in the postures. Good. Last breath. Good. And exhale. Good. From here, just bounce your legs out in front. Great. We're going to go into some moving with the breath now. Okay, so I really want you, even though these postures are really simple, that's not the point. The point is that I want you to bring that breath with you into these postures. Okay, so we're going to go side on so that you can see from side on. Good. So we're going to go from a cow. We're just going to do cat-cow. Can you go the other way? It's okay. Yeah. We're going to go just a plain cat-cow. So we're going to take the hands directly underneath the shoulders and take the toes or the knees directly underneath your hips and curling your toes into the floor. Good. And when you're ready, you're going to take a deep breath in, turn the sit bones up, draw the shoulder blades down your back, open your chest, look forward. And then point your toes, suck your belly in and up, round your spine, chin to chest. Curl your toes into the floor. Breathe in Ujjayi. Shoulder blades draw down your back. Point your toes, suck the belly in, round your lower back to the ceiling, chin to chest. Curling your toes, breathing in, open the chest, dip the spine, cow pose. And point your toes and exhale. Really pull up in your belly and press the fronts of your ankles into the floor and press your chin to your chest. Last one, breathe in. Cow pose, dip the spine, turn the sit bones up. And point the toes and exhale. Press through the hands and shins, round the spine, chin to chest. Good, we're going to go into moving down dog. Breathe in, curl the toes into the floor, open the chest. And then from here, lift your knees up off the floor, touch your belly to your thighs, and then exhale, lift the sit bones. Down dog. Drop down on your knees, breathe in, cow pose. Lift your knees, touch your belly to your thighs, and exhale, work to straighten your legs. Drop down on your knees, take a deep breath in. Good, lift your knees, touch your belly to your thighs, and exhale, lift your sit bones, down dog. Good, we're going to change it up. Drop down on your knees, cow pose. And exhale, point your toes this time and push back on your heels, extended seal. Breathe in, come forward, curl your toes into the floor, open the chest. Point your toes, pull up in the belly, and then just push back on your heels, extended seal. Last one, coming forward, curling your toes, inhaling. Good, and exhaling, pushing back on your heels. Good, from here, make sure your knees are together. Rest your palms up along the side of each hip, forward to the floor. Good, so you're in child's pose. The elbows relax and drop down into the mat. Your thighs are restricting the front of your chest and your belly. But you're trying to now direct that ujjayi breath into the sides of the belly and the back ribs. So the front of your body's restricted. See if you can breathe into the back of your body, ujjayi. So as it's not going to be easy, as you breathe in, you're going to really have to scrape the breath through the back of the throat to get the expansion. Pause. And then exhale, feel everything relax back in. Breathing in, draw the breath through the back of the throat, feel everything expand in the back ribs, sides of the belly, lower back. And exhale, feel everything relax back down. Good. To come up from here, simply hold 2 fingers behind your back. Good. Then lift your head and begin to look forward. Draw your shoulders back and breathe in, come to sit. Good. Stay where you are and exhale. Rest the backs of your hands to the tops of your knees. And just sit here for a moment. You can either breathe ujjayi or you can just let your breath take its natural course. Good. So you're probably staring at a point out in front of you at this time. Your senses have begun to withdraw. You're tuning in to your breath more and more. And you're beginning to feel your body, where it's tight, where it's not tight, where it's, where it's supple, where you can breathe, where you can't breathe. Good. From here, simply come forward on your hands and curl all your toes into the floor. Curl them as far close to the back of your knees as you possibly can so that the little toes are curled in under as well. And then I'd like you to sit back on your heels, sitting up nice and tall. You can either rest the backs of your hands onto your knees or you can do whatever you like with your hands. But breathe, ujjayi, inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good, one last breath. And exhale. Some of you probably weren't even able to stay here for that long if you're a beginner, but I'm sure a lot of you did. So come forward on your hands, point your toes. If you want, you can press your heels together with your thumbs and then sit back on your heels. And just once again staring off into oblivion, staring at a point out in front of you. It's called Dristi or Tritakam. And you're just listening to the sound of your breath. Good. From here, we're going into a down dog pose. Good. So where you place your hands and your feet is really important. So from here, come forward on your hands as though you're going to do a cat-cow. Spread your fingers as wide as you can and make sure your middle fingers are parallel. Make sure your hands are directly underneath your shoulders and that your knees are directly underneath your hips. Curling your toes into the floor. Good. When you're ready, breathe in, turn the sit bones up, draw the spine into the body, open the chest. Good. Lift your knees, touch your belly on your thighs. Good. And then exhale. Just begin to straighten your legs. Good. 3 breaths. See if you can breathe in down dog, in an inversion. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last breath, inhaling. Exhaling. Good. From here, you're just going to walk your hands back towards your feet. So you're looking at your feet. Your feet are hip distance apart. What's hip distance? Well, it's sit bone distance, as wide as your sit bones. You're going to hold one bicep, loop the other arm through, and just simply let your head hang down. From here, you're going to bend your knees deeply and just feel a mini traction in the upper part of your spine or anywhere in your spine. You're sort of looking between your legs at the wall behind you or whatever it is behind you. Good. I'd like you to do 3 or 4 breaths. As you breathe in, feel your spine lengthen. Good. As you breathe out, feel it relax. Breathing in. Once again, trying to breathe Ujjayi in an inversion. Exhale. Last breath. Exhale. Good. Let your knuckles fall to the floor. Good. And then from here, you're just going to slowly round yourself up, vertebra by vertebra. Look towards your navel, round yourself up, really slower. Just unfolding slowly. You can take a couple of breaths here. Just going to shrug your shoulders up into your ears. Roll your shoulders back. Drop your shoulders down. Once the shoulders have dropped, your head's just going to naturally float back up. Good job. Lovely. Okay. So hopefully most of us who are still with me are, actually I'm going to go this way, are breathing Ujjayi breath. So you could go there if you want. So hopefully you're breathing Ujjayi breath. We're going to, so we've done a cat-cow, we've done down dog, we've done a forward bend, we've done seated position. We're going to actually do Tadasana, standing position. I'm going to talk you through it. So these are just basic beginner postures. Good. So standing, whenever you're standing, it's generally big toes together, heels 1 inch apart. Unless you want to go sit bone distance. But generally, it's big toes together. Good. So your big toes together, your heels 1 inch apart. Good. From here, I'd like you to lift all your toes up off the floor. So big toes, little toes, all your toes. Okay? Good. Notice when you lift your toes up off the floor that your center of gravity moved back. So I'd like you to keep that center, that position that's further back. Good. And now relax your toes back down on the floor, but don't rock forward. So you don't allow that rocking forward to happen. You want to stay back where you were, and now you're going to notice that your thighs are working a lot. So this is correct standing position as far as, yeah, we have to work to stand, right? Feel the low belly firm and feel the tailbone tucked down. Good. Feel your thighs pull up and your energy pulling up your body. The pelvic floor lifts up. It's called Mula Bandha. Okay, it's the pelvic lift. So see if you can get that drawing up of the energy. We want our energy to draw up the body, not let our energy dissipate out of the lower extremities. Okay, so breathing in all your energy up your body. Breastbone lifts, collarbone broadens. Your arms are just relaxed down by the side of your body. Your neck is soft and long, and your head's floating over the top of your coccyx bone. Good. And inhale. And exhale. Staring at a point in front of you, Tritakam or Dristi. Breathe in. Feel the breath into your body, feel where it expands. And exhale, just feel like someone has a string attached to the crown of your head and pulling that string towards the ceiling. Breathing in and breathing out. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Good. Last breath. And exhale. Good. So you can relax now. You can sort of just shake that off. Good. So we're going to go into some sun salutations. First of all, we're going to do some sun breaths. Then we're going to go into some sun salutations, just basic, so that beginners know when we like what we're doing. So the whole idea of yoga is that we want to keep our spine flexible. So you're as young as your spine is flexible. Good. So we're really trying to actually get to a place where we can sit really comfortably for meditation. But in order to do that, we have to go through the body in order to get away from the body, because ultimately in meditation we're going to transcend. So in order to do that journey, we go through the body to move away from the body. So yoga essentially is keeping your spine supple, your joints supple, so that you feel free from being inhibited into a distorted body, so that you feel more open and free in order to transcend for moments in meditation. Okay, so we're going to stand, actually we're going to go sideways. I'm going to stand here, you can stand there again if that's okay, Donna. Good, so standing with big toes together, heels 1 inch apart, we're going to go back into Tadasana, correct standing position, hands into Anjali Mudra, Prayer Mudra. Good. Take a deep breath in. Breathe all the breath out. Breathe in, swing your arms down, around, up to touch, look up. Breathe out, dive forward, bend your knees, hands flat to the floor, face to shin. Start to turn your sit bones up. Breathe in, go high up on the fingertips, lift your breastbone, look in front. And breathe out, hands flat to the floor, face to shins. Lift your head and chest, take your arms out like a cross. Breathe in, integrate the breath, palms together, look up. And breathe out, turn your palms out and around and down, hands to prayer. We're going to do 2 more sun breaths. You ready? Breathe in. Turn the palms out, bend the knees, dive forward, hands flat to the floor, and then you can work to straighten your legs. It doesn't matter if they never straighten. Breathe in, go high in the fingertips, lift your breastbone, look up. Notice the dip in my spine. Breathe out, hands flat to the floor, face to shins. Lift your head and chest, take your arms out like a cross. Breathe in, come all the way up, palms together, look up. And breathe out, take your arms out and around and down, hands to prayer. Good, so essentially, an inhale is always a back bend, and an exhale is always a forward bend when you're moving with the breath. So this is vinyasa, moving with the breath. So if you're confused, obviously the opening of the lungs is the inhale, and the closing forward bend is the expelling. The belly pulls in, they expel the toxins and the breath out of the lungs. 1 last sun breath. Good, when you're ready. Breathe in, swing your arms down, around, up together, look up. Breathe out, dive forward, bend your knees, hands flat to the floor, bring your face to your shins, butt to the ceiling. Breathe in, go high in the fingertips, lift your breastbone, look in front, notice the dip in my spine, it's a back bend. Exhale, forward bend. Lift your head and chest, take your arms out like a cross, breathe in, come all the way up, palms together, look up. Then exhale, take your arms out and around and down, hands to prayer. Good, so those of you who have a lot of inflexibility in the backs of your legs, as we move through these classes in the next couple of weeks, they'll be much different to this. This is just the beginner's 101. This is just ironing out. This is getting you breathing. This is showing you basic postures and helping you know where to be in the pose, okay, as we move forward. So if you've got really tight backs of the legs and you actually can't bend your knees and get your hands flat on the floor, that's okay. You can just take hold of the backs of your legs and bring your face to your shins. And if you can't go high up on the fingertips and get a dip in your spine, then slide your hands up your legs wherever that is for you that you can get a dip in your spine. So it's not important how far in the pose you go. It's important what your spine is doing. Your spine is the most important part of the pose. So even if I'm going to always call it bending your knees, hands flat to the floor, face to shins, and I'm always going to call it high up on the fingertips, lift your breastbone to get a dip. But if you need to, you can press on the fronts of your legs and pull on the backs of your legs. Good. When I first started doing yoga, I think I was 33 or something, and I had to hold the backs of my legs and push off the fronts of my legs for about a year. Okay, so don't feel bad if you're doing that. Okay, so from here, we're just going to go into a basic sun salutation. Okay, hands to prayer. When you're ready, breathe in, swing your arms down, around, up together, look up. Breathe out, dive forward, bend your knees, hands flat to the floor, face to shins. Breathe in, go high in the fingertips, lift the breastbone, look in front, get a dip in your spine. Hands flat on the floor, step one leg back, step the other leg back, plank pose. Good, so we're going to work on plank pose here. So your body's in a straight line. You're pushing into your heels, but you want your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Good, really pushing here, pressing the floor away from you. Good, breathe in deeply. And then breathe out, simply drop your knees into the floor. Keep your butt back. Suck the belly in. Bend your elbows and hold yourself a few inches off the floor. Come down. Exhale. Point your toes. Slide your hands back a couple of inches. And then breathe in to either a powerful up dog with knees, thighs, everything lifts. Or if that's not good for you, you can simply do a cobra where you just lift your chest and come back down. Good. From here, bend your knees into the floor, curl your toes, suck your belly in, and press into down dog pose. 3 breaths. When you're ready, bend your knees, look forward, breathe in. So really look between your hands. And then exhale. Some of you will just walk up between your hands. Big toes together, heels 1 inch apart. Breathe in, high up on the fingertips, lift your breastbone, look in front. And breathe out, forward bend, face to shins. Lift your head and chest, take your arms out like a cross. Inhale, come all the way up, palms together, look up. And breathe out, arms out and around and down, hands to prayer. Good. So this is the beginner's variation of a sun salutation. So you want to be able to really nail the beginner's variation with your belly and power before you move on to the intermediate variation. But I'm going to leave, obviously, that up to you, but I really would like people to be able to know the beginner's variation. So we're going to do 2 more. When you're ready, breathe in, swing your arms down and around and up together, look up. Breathe out, bend your knees, dive forward, hands flat to the floor, face to shins. As you begin to straighten your legs, breathe in, high in the fingertips, lift the breastbone, look in front. Hands flat on the mat, step one foot back, other foot back, plank pose. Body's in a straight line, pushing yourself away from the floor. Press into your heels, keep your butt lifted. Inhale. Exhale, drop your knees into the floor. This is where you want to keep your butt back. Good, pull the belly in. Not so far. Pull the belly in, bend your elbows and hold. Come down, point your toes, slide your hands back. You're either going to go cobra, breathe in, lift up, and exhale, come down, or you're going to go up dog. So up dog, everything lifts, knees, thighs. Good, inhale, bend your knees into the floor, curl your toes, suck the belly in, and lift into down dog pose. One breath. Bend your knees, breathe in, look forward, and exhale, walk, step, or you can jump if you want, big toes together. Breathe in, high in the fingertips, lift your breastbone, and exhale, forward bend, face to shins. Lift your head and chest, take your arms out like a cross, inhale, all the way up, palms together, look up, and exhale, arms out and around and down. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're going to move onto a different mat. Great. So I'm quite warm at the moment because I've been breathing as well as talking. I'm pretty sure that you guys will be quite warm as well. So we're just going to go into a few basic openers now that we're warm. Okay? So I'd like you to come and sit on the floor. Good. Good. So let's just swing both feet to the left. Good. So both feet are to the left. The top foot is just pointed and crossing the arch of the bottom foot, if you can. Good. I'm going to take the left arm out to the left, really powerful left arm, high up on the fingertips and thumbs. And just make sure that shoulders roll back. Pelvic floor's lifting, Uddiyana Bandha. Good. Breathe in, take your right arm up in the air, and then breathe out, draw your shoulder down away from your ear. Breathe in, reach through that right arm. And then breathe out, walk your left hand out to the left, flatten your hand onto the floor, and simply turn your head and look under your bicep. Side lean. Good. So 3 to 6 breaths here, depends on your breath. Everybody's breath is a different length. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling the stretch from the back of the right hip all the way up through the side of the body, up through the shoulder, and even up through the arm. Inhaling. Exhaling. Keep looking underneath your bicep to the ceiling. Good, last breath. Good. Breathe in, come back up. Look straight ahead, turn the palm out, and exhale, lower the arm down. Good, so this next pose is going to get a little pretzel-y and a little tricky. It's a beginner's pose though. So it's beginners, but it still is confusing. So from here, as you are, you're just simply going to take this top leg, you're going to lift it up. You can lean to the right if you need to. And you're just going to place your ankle next to that right knee. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and sit on both my sit bones. Some of you won't be able to sit on both your sit bones, but you're going to try. Good. If you need more room, you can push your ankle forward. So the foot faces forward, okay? Good. This foot is going to dorsiflex. This foot can actually dorsiflex as well if you like, if you've got bad knees. So good point. If you have bad knees and suddenly you just can't do this, there's different options. You can get a little ball, little short ankle socks, roll them into a ball, and you can open up this bottom knee if it's giving you problems. You can open it, you can jam the socks behind the knee, and you can close the knee on them. And if that doesn't puff out the knee and make it stop hurting, then you have to fully dorsiflex anyway. Now, when I first started yoga, I had 2 bad knees. One knee was really bad, to the point where it just ached whenever it rained. It was just constant, just ached all day if it was raining. And when I was in these postures, it was excruciating, to the point where I had to really manage my knees in poses where they were bent like this. I had great teachers, and that's why I got through it. But I just listened to them and I persevered. So I used to use the sock. You can sit on a block. You can grab a cushion and sit on the cushion. You can sit on a block to get yourself up out of the pose a little bit. What else can you do in this pose? But pretty much, if you can dorsiflex this foot fully and keep it like that, that's what will protect your knee. And you'll notice that as you dorsiflex, it takes the pressure off the knee. Okay? But you've got to breathe. All right. So from here, you're going to take your left hand behind your left hip. You're going to lift your spine into your body. You're going to breathe your right arm up in the air. Then you're going to exhale, taking your elbow right to the outside of your knee, bend it at a right angle, and then turn and look over your left shoulder. Spinal twist. Good. Inhaling. Exhaling. Three more breaths. Feeling your breastbone lift, your collarbone broad as much as you can, sitting up as tall as you can. Last breath. And exhale. Good. Slowly come back to the front. So this is still going to stay tricky. We're doing bull seat prep. It's one of the most complicated beginner poses. So you're either going to keep this knee where it is, this foot where it is, or you can bring it back just a couple of centimeters towards the hip. And then you're going to wrap the opposite arm around the knee. So opposite arm around the knee, and then hold on to the elbow with the other hand. Good. Sit up tall. Feel this knee drawing in towards the opposite armpit. Inhale. You're facing the front of the room now. Exhale. So this pose is great for people with sciatica. One more breath. Good. So the whole idea of doing these basic postures is to learn the postures, but also make sure that you're breathing in the postures. Oftentimes I see people go to yoga, they're doing really difficult classes and they're not breathing in the class because the class is too difficult for them. They haven't actually learnt to integrate the breath with them. Last breath. Well, those of you that need to go a bit further, you can actually pull the ankle, keeping the foot straight forward. You can pull it back towards your hip a little bit more, and you'll actually feel a stretch through the glute here on the outer leg. Good. So this is a great pose for people who stand all day long, sit all day long. So it's most people. 2 more breaths. We're not doing the full pose today. If you know it, you can do it. And last breath. Good. From here, release the knee and just straighten your legs out in front of you, slowly helping them with your hands. Good. And bouncing your legs up and down. Good. So I had a lot of injuries when I first started. I had 2 bad knees. I had a frozen rotator cuff. I had other things too, but I couldn't brush my teeth. I couldn't bring the toothbrush up to my mouth without it grabbing in the rotator cuff, and that I had that for 3 years. But as soon as I started doing these basic postures with breathing, that has disappeared, never came back. So that was many years ago, and both my knees are excellent. Good. From here, swinging the feet to the opposite side. So I'm swinging mine to the right now. I'm going to go into a side lane. So take your right arm out to the right, high up on the fingertips and thumbs. Breathe your left arm up in the air. Really get a stretch through the left side of the body. Walk the right hand out, flatten the palm on the floor, and then turn and look under your bicep, up to the ceiling, and breathe. Stretching the Ujjayi breath into the side of the body, drawing your shoulder down away from your ear. So you really want to sort of keep your ear and your bicep fairly close, but they're not going to touch because there's a gap there. But you don't want to be dropping your head down. You want to be lifting your head up to look up at the ceiling. Good, 3 more breaths. Yeah, nice big stretch through the left side of the body. Good, last breath. Breathe in, come back up. Face forward, turn the palm out, exhale, lower your arm down. Good, lean on your left hand and just take your right foot to the outside of your left knee. Good, lift and see if you can drop down on both your sit bones. And as I said before, some of you won't be able to sit on both your sit bones, but you're going to try. This bottom knee here is facing the front of the room, this bottom knee. Good. Take your right hand behind your right hip. Breathe in. Take your left arm up in the air. And as you exhale, get the elbow wedged to the outside of the thigh. And turn and look over your right shoulder to the back wall. And your elbow. Good. And breathe. So as you'll notice, breathing in this spinal twist is not that easy. So you're in quite a deep spinal twist and you're trying to breathe into your belly and your chest. You may not be able to breathe into your belly because it'll be restricted with your thigh. But as you continue practicing, you will find that you are able to stretch the breath into your body. So we've got our stick and we're stirring the pot. We're stirring the bag of muddy water. Okay? And it's starting to get a little cloudy. Good. From here, come back to the front. Good. So you stay where you are. Good. Good. So as you are, you're just going to take hold of that ankle and pull it back a little bit. Some of you will be able to pull it all the way back if you're really open here, but most of you will only be able to pull it back a little bit. Facing the front of the room, wherever that is for you, wrapping the opposite elbow around the knee. So in my case, I think we're all on the same page. Left arm around the right knee, and then hold on to the elbow with the other hand. Good. So you're really trying to square off to the front of the room, and you're really trying to take that knee with you into that armpit. Good. Breathe. By the way, I forgot to mention, I'm from Melbourne. I studied yoga in New York City for about 4 or 5, 6 years. And my first class that I took, it was a lunchtime class in the Upper East Side studio. And I had about 8 to 15 women. And they couldn't understand a word I was saying because I would say things that in the American accent's completely different. So I was saying things like, oh, you can put your jumper on now if you want to keep warm. And they're like, your jumper? What's a jumper? And then they're like, oh, the sweater. And then it was all these other things. And so in that moment, my first class that I ever taught, or maybe that week, I adopted an American accent when I teach yoga, purely because I knew I was going to be there for a long time, and I thought it's hard enough teaching yoga, let alone not being understood. So that's why I moved into an American accent. I'm really sorry about that. It's embarrassing, but it just is what it is. Good. Last breath. Very embarrassing, actually. Good. Exhale. Good. So unwind your legs. and just bounce your legs up and down. Okay, we're just going to check the time, please. And we're going to move into meditation, okay? So I'm sorry I'm not seeing all the lovely comments. It's because I'm so far away from the camera, but I'm going to read them all, and I'm going to reply to you all afterwards. So we're now going into meditation, and we're going to do some pranayama. So we're going to do the Ishta Dishka, okay? You don't have to do this. So thank you, Sunday. I really appreciate you being helping me today. Thank you. Good. So you're either going to grab a cushion or a block or a rolled up mat. Okay, whatever you prefer. If you're really tight in the hips and ankles, use a block. If you don't have a block, use 2 cushions like this. Okay? All right. So you're going to sit on your cushion. Sometimes actually what I do, depending on what shape your cushion is, sometimes I will do that. I will just halve it. It could be a pillow off the bed, or it could be just a cushion off the sofa. Good. So from here, we're going to pull one heel right in front of the pubic bone. So it's sort of like that your foot becomes upside down, Nelly. And the foot is right in line with the pubic bone, and the other heel in line with that heel. So now your heels are lined up. Okay? Good. So also for beginners as well, you can put your block right up against the wall, or your cushion, or your double cushion, and you can sit on it, but then you want to push yourself back so that your butt is pushing right up the wall, and then when you come to sit up straight, just your shoulder blades will touch. That's a beautiful seat. So what that does is the wall actually gives you the back of your body. It helps you find where your center is. It helps you feel where you're sitting up tall. And maybe just the back of your head will just skim the wall, and the shoulder blades just skim, but nothing else touches. That's a beautiful way to sit for meditation. Good, so hopefully your body's just a little bit more open for meditation. If at any point during this meditation that you've got really bad pins and needles, or you've got a really bad knee, just try and keep your eyes closed, and just slowly, during the meditation, you can just straighten that bad leg, or the bad knee, or you can just straighten that leg out, and you can just continue on with the meditation. If you want to, you can straighten both legs out, and you can sit like this for meditation. If you want to, you can sit like this for meditation. It's just completely up to you. You can just sit up leaning against the wall with the legs just easy like that if you want to for meditation. The most important thing is that your spine is tall, and that you're able to lift up in the pelvic floor. Okay? So if your knee is hurting, or you've got really bad pins and needles, you're not going to be able to transcend the mind. So the most important thing is to be comfortable. Okay? At this point, depending on where you are in the world, you might want to put on a jumper or a sweater, or you might want to get a blanket and wrap it around you. Okay? So there's a couple of things that I haven't talked about today, and that are the bandhas. We've talked a little bit about Uddiyana Bandha, which is, it's actually a muscle between genitals and anus. It's a lifting up. So this is no Mula Bandha, and this is Mula Bandha. No Mula Bandha, Mula Bandha. Okay? Then there's Uddiyana Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha, no Uddiyana Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha, no Uddiyana Bandha. Okay? So we want to have pelvic floor lifting, and a gentle Uddiyana Bandha. Okay, then there's one other lock, they're locks, is Jalandhara Bandha. Jalandhara Bandha is chin lock, chin to chest. Okay, so there are the 3 locks, the 3 bandhas. There are many more, but these are the basic ones that we use mostly. Okay, so Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, sitting up nice and tall. Uddiyana Bandha is supporting your spine. Jalandhara Bandha is the chin lock. Okay? Good. I'm going to teach you alternate nostril breathing. So I'm going to teach you Nadi Sudana Pranayama, which is the Sanskrit name. So a lot of you would have done this before, but I'm going to teach it to you maybe slightly differently, which I think is a better variation. So you're going to take your right hand if you can. If you can't, you can use your left hand, but we're doing right hand. And it's first two fingers pressed into the palm of the hand. You can actually use your thumb and press them in and then take your thumb and ring finger together. So we want to make this mudra because we're going to pinch the bridge of the nose and we're going to alternate the breath. So you want the thumb and the ring finger to bend at the knuckle to get that. You don't want the fingers to be straight because they won't even meet up. You won't even be able to get. So you want them to bend, all right? I'm going to talk you through it. The most important thing I'd like you to do is to keep your breastbone lifted but drop your chin to your chest. So you're going to feel a stretch in the brain stem, okay? Just close your eyes and follow along as best you can. The other hand is Jnana Mudra. It's just thumb and index finger. All right, from here on in, we're moving through some pranayama into meditation. All right, good. So close your eyes if you can. If you need to peek at your screen, just squint and have a little look, and then you can go back to closing your eyes. Try not to open your eyes fully. So we're moving into sense withdrawal now. We're withdrawing the senses. We've already started, but we're going further. Good. Sit up tall. Take a deep breath in. Good. And breathe all the breath out. Breathe in halfway or a little bit more. Hold the breath. Drop the chin down to the chest. Bring the right hand up to the bridge of your nose and gently pinch the bridge of your nose, closing both nostrils. Now breathe out right nostril by lifting your thumb. Breathe in the right nostril. Close block both your nostrils. Breathe out left side. Breathe in left side. Close block both your nostrils. Breathe out right side. Breathe in right side. Keep lifting your breastbone. Close block both nostrils. Breathe out left side. Continue alternating your breath as best you can. Continue balancing the left and right hemispheres of the brain. As you breathe in one nostril, you close block both. And you breathe out the opposite side. Balancing whole duality here. Breathing in the same nostril you just breathed out of. Close block both nostrils. And breathe out the opposite side. We're going a couple more rounds now. So as you continue a couple more rounds on your own, I'd like you to be aware that you're balancing left and right, masculine, feminine, sun with moon, ha and ta, hatha yoga, balancing all duality, the light with the dark, the sun and the moon, left and right, masculine, feminine. Breathing in one nostril, close block both, and breathing out the opposite side. See if you can finish the last exhale on the left nostril, because we started on the right. And after that last exhale on the left nostril, keeping your eyes closed, squint if you need to look at the screen, but otherwise you can just use your audio, like your listening skills. And allow your chin to float back up in line with your spine, and allow your hand to float back down to the top of your knee. And now both thumb and index fingers just gently touch together, Jnana Mudra. Jnana is knowledge. Your neck is soft and long, and your head floats directly over the top of your coccyx bone, right in line with your spine. Take a moment to notice the balancing of the left and right hemispheres of the brain. See if you can tune in to those subtle changes that you feel more centered through the frontal lobe. And then take your consciousness all the way down to the coccyx bone, all the way down at the base of your spine. Use your breath, ujjayi, gentle ujjayi. Breathe in up the front of your spine to the middle of the brain. And breathe out down the back of your spine, all the way back down to the coccyx bone and underneath. Breathe in up the front of your spine to the middle of your brain. And breathe out from the middle of the brain down the front of your spine, all the way back down to the coccyx bone. Excuse me. Breathe in up the front of your spine to the middle of the brain. And breathe out down the back of your spine, back to the base of your spine. Continue on your own. Kriya breathing, transformational. And as you breathe in up the front of your spine to the sound hum. It's a silent sound. I'm sounding it outwardly to help you. And breathe out down the back of your spine to the sound sa. Hum. Sa. Hum. Sa. Hum. So in your mind's eye, I'd like you to visualize your spinal cord. Visualize this breath moving around the spinal cord, sort of like a halo of iridescent light. So you can really see it's like a long sausage-shaped balloon shape of energy, of traveling up the front of your spine, down the back of your spine. So what you're doing is you're concentrating your energy to your spinal cord. You're really focusing your energy to Sushumna Nadi, which is the line of a nadi that runs right up. It's a tiny slither that runs right up the middle of your spinal cord. Sa. 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 Eventually, the need to breathe will fade, and you'll simply move into a space or a pause after an exhale. It will happen naturally. You won't have to think about it. You can simply just let your breath move back to its natural course, so no more manipulating of the breath. Unless you have many thoughts, if you continue to have a multitude of thoughts that are now bubbling up your spine furiously, then definitely continue the hum sa. However, if you have an innate feeling that you just want to surrender the breath and move into a pause after the exhale, then that's what you do. And if you need some help, because we're going to move the consciousness up into the middle of the brain now, you can just lick one finger, get a little saliva on your finger, and just dab a little saliva right to third eye point. This is for beginners. For seasoned practitioners who know third eye point, you obviously don't need to do this. It's for beginners. So now you can feel this wet, cool point right in the middle of your forehead. And as you bring your attention to it, your consciousness just begins to concentrate at the middle of the brain. You may begin to see some colors, generally purple or orange. Or recently I've heard Al, my Yogi Raj, say, it doesn't matter if it's purple with a fringe or not. It doesn't really matter whether you see it or you don't. It doesn't matter what colors there are, if there are colors or if there are none. We're only observing what is. We're not looking for something. So the consciousness is at the middle of the brain. There are different colors possibly swirling around. And now we're going to bring in a mantra. We're going to use Hum Kasham. I'm going to repeat it over and over for you to help you dissolve your consciousness into third eye point. So allow the sound to wash over you. Keep lifting the pelvic floor. Keep sitting up as tall as you can. Connecting to the center of the earth through the base chakra, Muladhara, and connecting above through the crown. Kasham, 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 Kasham. Sitting quietly now for the next few minutes, allowing you to observe what is as you just sit, repeating the mantra silently to yourself, Hum Kasham. And then begin to feel the corners of your mouth gently turn upward, just as the beginnings of a smile begins to creep across your lips. And as that smile begins to creep across your lips, notice how the skin on your forehead relaxes in every direction and smooths itself out. See if you can notice a tingling in your scalp as the plates of your skull soften and separate. Feel an opening at the crown of your head. Your spine is like a rod of energy, like a magnet, connected below and above. Your neck is soft and long. Your head floats. Your shoulders relax down away from your ears as your breastbone lifts up a little taller. The pelvic floor is lifted and the lower belly is gently pulled in. Hum Kushum. Hum Kushum. Hum Kushum. We're going to sit for another minute. Keeping your eyes closed as best you can. You can always peek, of course, at the screen if you need to, if you're not sure what we're doing. We're going to ground the energy now from the middle of the brain back down to the base of the spine. So this is probably the most important part of the meditation, of after you've brought the energy up into the middle of the brain or wherever you've brought it up to, you then need to bring your energy back down. So by doing that, simply take your hands together into a prayer. Take a moment to feel the heat between your hands, the heat, the warmth, that energy, that beautiful warm energy between your hands. You can rub your hands together if you like. I don't feel like I need to, but you may need to. Place your hands over your eyes and breathe in. I'd like you to feel the heat from your hands into your eye sockets. So into your eyeballs, into the middle of your brain, feeling that heat into third eye point. Breathe out, drag your hands down your cheeks, under your jaw to your throat, cupping your throat, one hand over the top of the other. Feeling the heat from your hands into Vishuddha chakra. It's where communication, creativity. Breathe in. Breathe out, slide your hands down right over the sternum bone, heart center, Anahata chakra. And really press in one hand over the other and really feel the heat from your hands pressing into your heart, feeling that unconditional love and compassion for yourself as well as others. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out, slide your hands down to the navel, Manipura chakra. And when you do this, you can start to drop your chin to your chest, stretching the brain stem. There's our lovely crow. So Manipura chakra is the mind, gut feeling, intuition. It's the second brain. Feel the heat from your hands into the belly, the navel. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out, slide your hands a little lower, just above the pubic bone, and really drop your chin to your chest here, and really feel the brain stem stretch. Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana chakra is likes and dislikes. It's like your individuality, it's reproductive system. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out. Start to rub your legs with your hands. But you might want to start rubbing a little, quite vigorously. If you want to, cup your knees with your hands. Feel the heat from your hands into your knee joint. Feel that really powerful prana that you've collected in your practice radiating out of your hands into your knee joint. And now with your thumbs, massage down the calf muscles, really squeeze, and down into your shins, your Achilles. Really squeeze and massage. And then with your thumbs, I'd like you to massage down the soles of your feet. Good. Now press the palm of each hand into the sole of each foot. Feel the heat now grounding itself down into Muladhara chakra. So the root, how you connect to the earth. Good, it's survival instinctual patterns. Good, from here, if you possibly can, you can always peek at your screen if you need to. You're going to slowly, one by one, you're going to sit back on your tailbone a little bit, And you're going to just really gradually get one leg out from the cross-leg position, and then the other leg out from cross-leg position. And you're just going to slowly begin to rub your legs. Good. You're going to straighten your legs out one by one, really slowly, and you're going to rub even more. You may have pins and needles. Good. From here, we're going to bounce the legs up and down. We're going to circle the ankles around and around. You can do them like that, or you can do them the same way, whatever you like. But really just getting those ankles to turn. Good. And then bounce, and then point and flex, point and flex. Good. From here, if you would like to do deep relaxation, lay yourself down on the mat, on your back, as we did in the beginning of class when we were learning the full complete breaths. So you're going to lay yourself down with your feet about mat distance apart. You're going to turn your palms up, and you're going to lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your butt, squeeze it together, relax everything back down. Drop your chin to your chest and let it relax back down. Good. I'm going to talk you through deep relaxation. So as you lay here on the floor, I'd like you to feel your body in perfect symmetry. Notice how one half of the body is the perfect mirror image of the other half of your body. And if it's not, and it doesn't feel symmetrical, just shift something so that it is. The palms of your hands turn up. Your tongue moves away from the roof of your mouth, and it just drops back into towards the back of your throat. Your teeth part, and your lips may part gently. Once you relax your tongue, your jaw relaxes. Your eyes sink deep into your skull. The skin on your forehead spreads in every direction. The tunnels of your ears soften. Your shoulders relax down away from your ears. And your hips relax down away from your shoulders. And your feet and ankles just fall out and down away from your body. And you completely let go of everything that you've been holding on to. You soften. Take your consciousness to where the back of your head is touching the mat, that point, and feel that point spread. Feel the backs of your shoulders, the backs of your hips, your heels, the backs of your elbows, your knuckles, where they're touching the floor. And see if you can just feel your body sink down into the earth, feeling those points spread as your body relaxes more and more. Lie back, completely relax your body. Drifting now, surrendering, learning to let go, letting go of the physical body, shifting into Yoga Nidra. Lie back and relax. And rest for the next few minutes. You okay? Keeping your eyes closed as best you can. To bring yourself back, you're just going to rub your thumbs across each fingertip, bringing back the senses. You're going to breathe in and just feel your belly rise a little, breathing a breath into the mind chakra. And breathe out, feel the belly fold. Wiggle your toes. Good. Breathe in again. Bend your knees in towards you slowly and hug your knees into your chest. And when you're ready, just roll yourself over onto one side in a fetal position and rest there for another few minutes. If you want to stay in deep relaxation on your back for longer, you certainly may, because you're at home and you can come out at your own pace. After you've rested in your fetal position for a minute or so, take your time. You can also stay there if you want to, because you're at home. If you had to get up and go and drive a car, or if you do, if you're actually going out, then I'd like you to come back to a seated position. Take your time, try and keep your senses withdrawn, try and keep yourself inward. When you're ready, you take your hands together into a prayer. And just simply bow your head towards your hands, pressing your thumbs towards your heart, spreading your fingers away from your heart. Shanti, peace to yourself. Shanti, peace to others. Shanti, peace to the universe. Hari Om Om Tat Sat. When you're ready, you can lower your hands down. You can open your eyes, stare at a point on the floor in front of you, and then as you lift your gaze, it'll follow a line across the floor out to the horizon. You can stare at that point for a little longer, and then eventually, using your peripheral vision, you bring yourself back to the room and seeing everything in it all at once. Well, actually, sorry. You have peripheral vision, and then you can bring your attention to something to come back. Okay. So I just want to thank you all for Namaste. I'd like to thank you all for joining me today. I know that it wouldn't appeal to many people, this beginner class, but I just felt like it was my duty to keep you all safe and to give you the heads up with different postures and things. So I will be doing another class on Monday morning at 9 a.m. and I'll continue to do free yoga as much as I possibly can from now on. So namaste, and thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and keep safe and happy and uplifted. Thank you.